Hello, my freaky darlings. I'm Zeffy Wings, and welcome to Game Theory. Can you believe it? MatPat is retired. I've been a fan of his for over a decade. It's so hard to believe that he won't be doing Game Theory anymore. I know the channel will still be going on, and I'm still going to watch it. I have nothing but respect for Tom and the others who have taken over the channels. But MatPat played a really important role in my life. He's been there for me, even though he didn't know it, through a lot. And I decided it was important to talk about it, and I wanted to pay a small tribute to him. I have always had a passion for analyzing and theorizing. When I was little, my family didn't watch a lot of TV. We were really big into movies. We would watch at least 2 a day. A family movie with supper, and then after my younger siblings went to bed, my mom and I would enjoy a mystery movie or a horror movie. My favorite genres even back then. While watching movies together, my mom, ever the English major enthusiast, would encourage us to talk about themes and dialogue and characters and color choices and all those kinds of things. If we watched a mystery movie, we would try and solve it while we watched it. Even to this day, I have a really hard time watching movies or TV by myself because I'm just primed to want to discuss it after. Analyzing and theorizing is just how I like to consume media. Video games have also always been a big part of my life, since my mom has always been an avid gamer. And although I really enjoyed both those things, those were two very separate hobbies, since at the time I didn't find as much to discuss in video games. It took somebody incredible to take those two interests and tie them together more directly. I began watching game theory 11 years ago, when I was about 22. I couldn't find the exact episode that I started with, since that watch history is long gone, but I know it was either Companion Cube's Dark Secret, which is a theory that the corpses of the Aperture employees were being shoved into the Companion Cubes, or the Mario is Mental series, a two-parter that discussed that Mario is not necessarily the hero that he seems to be, a series that to this day colors how I view that character. There were a few other videos he put out around that time that didn't grab my interest as much, but I was really sold on the channel by my third big video, the Link is Dead in Majora's Mask, a collab with Peanut Butter Gamer, a YouTuber I was already a big fan of. These 3 videos and their role in making me a theorist fanatic had a significant impact on my life. I was going through a very difficult time in that period, probably my most difficult. I was in a very toxic relationship, which exaggerated my anxiety tendencies, resulting in extreme agoraphobia, which got to the point where I couldn't leave the house at all. During this time, I found comfort in watching YouTubers, because it was a much more personal media than the traditional television or movies that I still did watch. However, while I did have a great many YouTubers that made me smile, none of them captured my interest the way MatPat and Game Theory did. Watching his videos wasn't just entertainment, it was an exciting new way to consume media, particularly video games. By combining my love of analysis and taking it one step further and extrapolating beyond what I was presented, I learned that every genre could be mystery. MatPat is the reason one of my favorite video game franchises is Five Nights at Freddy's. a game that could have easily come and gone in my life as nothing more than a passing interest. It became instead something to comb through meticulously, to connect with other people about, and info dump dumb ideas to my patient but somewhat confused family members. MatPat was the reason I tried both The Good Place and Gravity Falls, two of my now favorite television shows of all time. MatPat is the reason I started streaming video games 7 years ago, since now I want to talk about video games while I consume them too. And this was the easiest way to do that. I made excellent friends over the internet, over streaming and theorizing, some of the best friends that I have. I even participated in his St. Jude challenge the last year he did it, earning myself this cool signed game theory t-shirt and a signed game mat that I use as a desktop mousepad. MatPat was also the reason why I wanted to make videos, inspired by the kinds of things he did. But in this, I had much more difficulty. I find it very hard to work up the nerve to do so. Multiple times I would script and write and record something, sometimes even get as far as putting it on YouTube before I would become dissatisfied and take it down. Recently, though, I have decided to give it one more shot because I needed a sort of portfolio for some editing jobs I wanted to apply for. And having a specific goal in mind for the channel made it more palatable to me as I was taking a learning process, but wasn't as good as someone like MatPat. This is something I didn't realize until writing this part of the script. Also mirrors the very reason why MatPat started game theory in the first place. It was a resume for him, a portfolio for other jobs he wanted to get. It's funny how life works. I knew if I was going to start this channel one last time and give it a real effort, I needed more than one video to go up at once. This was advice I got directly from MatPat on a GT Live. He mentioned in passing, always launching a channel with multiple videos when talking about his launch of style theory and food theory. While I have some ideas for analysis videos and videos talking about theme, I knew that I wanted to start with theory videos. My big inspiration and probably the bigger focus of what the channel is going to be. In that, I landed on doing one of Rusty Lake, one of probably my favorite video game series of all time, and one of Five Nights at Freddy's, the granddaddy of gaming theorists' videos. The FNAF one was the sticking point, because I needed something good enough to talk about, something that contributed to the conversation in at least a small way, and wasn't too derivative of other things I saw. And let's face it, the FNAF theory community is a competitive neighborhood. I knew I needed at least something a little meaningful to talk about, and I didn't think I had anything for that yet. On December 21st, I was watching MatPat play Help Wanted 2 on GT Live. Since I don't have a PS5 or a PS5 VR, so for that one I do have to kind of live vicariously on YouTube rather than enjoy it myself. And there was a moment that really struck me, and it gave me an idea, something I really liked. I dug into it, and it lined up in a really interesting way, I thought. And finally, I had an idea worth pursuing and started on my script right away. You may notice that it is not December. It is not even January. What happened? 9 days later, after that GT Live episode, MatPat Patrick announced his retirement. I know that this is important to him, And I am happy that he is doing what he needs to do for his family, for his own mental health. I am glad that he's doing this. But I am really going to miss him. And I'll admit, this took the wind out of my sails for a while. I can't even put my finger on why. It's not like him recording game theory episodes was going to make any difference to what I was recording or doing, but I guess a part of me felt like I was now working to be part of a community that didn't exist anymore. Now, I know that that's not true, that he's still going to be there, other people are still going to be there. This is a huge and important community, logically. I knew that, but emotionally, it was hard for me to reconcile that in my mind. So I stopped working on it. But I still needed a portfolio. There are still editing jobs that I'm hoping to get. There are still things that I want to talk about, ideas I want to share. And I know that this isn't a reason to walk away. If anything, it's more important than ever that we make sure this community of theorists continues to grow. So I got back on it and decided that the third video I put out at launch was going to be just as important to me as the other two theories. Thank you, MatPat. Thank you for giving me my favorite way to consume video games and movies and TV shows. Thank you for introducing me to one of my favorite series. Video game series and TV series. Thank you for being the gateway to my other favorite series. Thank you for being there in the darkest time of my life and giving me a community that meant I wasn't alone anymore. I'm heartbroken that I won't get to hear your voice on game theory anymore, but I'll still continue to watch. I'm heartbroken that I'll never get to meet you at a con. But I will try to be one of the many seeds you planted of inspiration and ideas and thoughtful media consumption. If I can introduce even one or two people to these ideas, then maybe I will have done my part. Thank you so much for everything. In your honor. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.